Thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all covering us each and every week. I know I lead with that every Monday, but I do. There's a lot of places y'all could be, a lot of teams to be covering, so appreciate y'all being here. Big homecoming win over Georgia State. Their record doesn't show it right now. They're going to get some wins, but that's a good football team. That's a team that has 18 of their 22 starters back from a bowl team last year, and they've got a lot of good athletes, and they're really close to putting it together. And a lot of respect for what Trent's done with that program and how he handles his team. Going to hit quick wrap up in each phase. Special teams, we won the field position battle by 18 yards. I thought that was huge key of the game. Our operation times, which you don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about unless something goes wrong. Our snappers, both Justin Fuller and Taylor Polk, did a great job. We had a big kickoff return that set up right after they scored their second touchdown that we got into it and got a field goal out of. And then we stole a possession with a fumble recovery on a kickoff. And then Ryan Kay, much deserved Sunbelt Player of the Week this week, did a great job with his field goals. Also did a really nice job for us punting the football. Should have had a ball get downed inside the 2-yard line. We didn't do a very good job covering it. Defensively, the negatives, we gave up too many big plays in the passing game, and then we did a poor job on 3rd and long. We've done a really nice job, been consistent with our 3rd down defense all year, but we let some 3rd and longs get away from us in that game, and we've got to get that fixed. Positives, we forced 3 turnovers. They rushed for 1.5 yards per carry, and I think it would have been right around a yard per carry if they didn't get that big run on the quarterback scramble in that final drive. And we had 3 sacks, but we created a lot of pressure, and we got some hits on the quarterback. So that's for the positives. Offensively, the negatives are we did not play very well in the run game at all. Thought we were undisciplined at running back and in the offensive line. We've got to perform better than that. We averaged right around 3 yards per carry, and if we're going to run the ball as much as we did the other night, we've got to do a better job in that aspect. Disappointed in that. And then we didn't have very many explosive plays. We just didn't get down the field. I don't think we had a single explosive run. And then we got to do a better job. We got to score touchdowns in red zone. Now we hit some adversity there that I'm not quite sure, but we got to finish in the red zone nonetheless. The positives are we controlled the clock and we got a lot of snaps. I think the first drive of the game, I don't think Georgia State got the ball to about 6 minutes. We had a 21 play drive to open the game up. I thought it was big. I thought that set the tone for the entire game. Then we took advantage of our turnovers, whether in special teams or the defense creating them. We scored points off those turnovers, so that was big. Overall, 3-0 in the conference. That's what we were hunting. That was the goal last week. We achieved that. Overcame adversity, which I think speaks to our football team. I talked about it at the end in the press conference after the game, but we get behind in the 3rd quarter. Things were going poorly, and we found ways to get it back on track and win the football game. I thought the keys to the game real simple. Turnover margin, we win 3-1, and then on special teams, I thought we made plays in special teams that created scoring opportunities for us. The award winners for this week. Our offensive lineman of the game was Antonio Garcia, who's played well 3 weeks in a row now, graded out 95%, had 7 knockdowns. Our special teams player of the week, Ryan Kay obviously got it for the Sun Belt. Our in-house special teams player of the week was B.J. Smith. 44-yard kickoff return, had the huge fumble recovery on the kickoff, and real proud of him. Defensively, Cam Melton was our player of the game. Had an interception on the opening drive of the game, and then he played every single snap on defense. Didn't come out of the game and had tremendous energy throughout. Offensively, Josh Anderson had 4 conversions on either 3rd or 4th down, had a touchdown reception. Ran the ball. I thought he played the best out of any of our running backs. And then our scout players of the week, and then these guys set the table for us to be successful on offense and defense and special teams. Were Kyler Knudsen on special teams, Ethan Calhoun offensively, and then defensively JT Bryant. So our Corey McCullough Spirit Award, which is huge because I thought our sideline energy was great in the game, especially when adversity struck in the 3rd quarter. Thought our sideline really picked up the crowd. Hiram Velez gets that award this week. And then our Nathan Harris Service Award goes to Nick Manuel, and that's the guy that's done the most on campus and in our community over the last week. So want to recognize those. Turn the page, moving on to South Alabama now, and it's a huge opportunity for us to play on Thursday evening and a nationally broadcasted a game. Didn't have this opportunity a year ago. It's something that we felt slighted about. It's not having the opportunity to play on one of the main ESPN channels, so we get that opportunity and we've got to take advantage of it. It's a rivalry game. It's a trophy game. I think Coach Jones done a really good job at South in building that program. They've got the two marquee wins for our conference this year. The huge win over Mississippi State on the road, and then the number 19 team in the country in San Diego State. So they've got two huge wins. Offensively, two dual-threat quarterbacks. Probably will see both of them. I think both of them have played well at different times this year, but both of them have the ability to run and pass. The running back, Xavier Johnson, is really good. He hurt us last year. He's really effective against us last year. And then the other two kids that play are effective as well. The best player maybe in our conference is Gerald Everett, their tight end. I think he's probably the best NFL prospect in our league. He hurt us last year. He's made big plays. He's a big time player. I got a lot of respect for his game. I enjoy watching him play. Hopefully, I only enjoy watching him make big plays against other people, not us. But he's a great football player. And number one, the receiver Josh McGee. He's as fast as anybody in our league. They do a great job getting him the ball and creating shot opportunities down the field for him. Defensively, Coach Womack's our new defensive coordinator, and he has came and completely changed what they're doing defensively. They're playing with an attitude. They're playing as hard as anybody we've played. Defensively right now, they're playing aggressive and just extremely hard. And I think the leader on that defense, who they moved to will linebacker, is Roman Buchanan, a great kid. I know he's here locally. They moved him to linebacker, and he's made a lot of plays. The other linebacker, number 32, is playing at a high level. He's a junior college transfer, and like those guys sometimes do, he's figuring it out, and you can see him consistently getting better. They've got a great cover corner in Jeremy Reeves. Their nickel, I think they call him a Husky, is Kalen Jackson, and he's made a lot of plays. I know he's been a defensive player of the week a couple times in our conference over the last 2 years. And they've got a kid named Allen who plays a defensive end. It's a pass rusher. He's gotten pressure against everybody they've played. So really an active defense. They're playing hard. They're creating opportunities for their offense. And then on special teams, Xavier Johnson, the running back, is their kickoff returner. He's already taken one to the house this year, and he did the same last year. And they do as good a job on their punt team that we'll see all year. So two really good punters that they rotate through there. So we've got our hands full. It's a game that we're excited about, an opportunity this week. Face some challenges on a short week. They're facing the same challenges, so no sympathy there. But it's a great opportunity, and our kids are looking forward to compete down in Mobile. So with that, questions?
How do you get all your work in?
Well, you plan for it. The schedule came out in March, so we knew we were going to be playing on a short week. So did a lot of homework, talked to different coaches that have done this several times. We put together a plan that we believe in that's going to allow us to be fresh first and then get enough preparation in. We worked some during the bye week on South. We spent some time in fall camp working on some things that we assumed they would do. We couldn't work a whole lot because obviously a new coordinator defensively. So we'll get the work needed in, and the biggest thing is making sure our guys are fresh. We played a physical football game on Saturday, make sure their bodies are back at full speed on Thursday evening. Yeah, we're going to use them. A lot of chuns hit were coming in when he ran into our offensive line, so he didn't get beat up a lot. But he's going to play. He came out of it fresh. Didn't have a ton of carries the week before, then coming off the bye week, so he'll be ready to go. We are. I mean, Josh Anderson deserves to play. And some of those other running backs are ready to play, and they need to have their number called. But Chun will bounce. He did not play well. I think he'll tell you that today when you have an opportunity to talk to him. He did not play well in the game. But that doesn't mean that we're going to stop giving him the ball. You know what I mean? He's a load, and he'll bounce back. I know he'll bounce back.
If you look at South's schedule, they probably circled that San Diego State game and that Mississippi State game. This is the third one that they're probably circling on the schedule. How do you not fall to them at their home turf?
Well, it won't be for lack of effort. I'll say that. But now they're a good football team. They really are. I think they've played better at home in league games than they've played on the road. I think anytime you go through the ebb and flow of the season, you're always going to have games where you play better at. And, I think the San Diego State collectively was the best game that I've seen them play. And they've played some really good football teams. Everybody wants to look at that Nichols score. Well, last time I looked, Nichols played Georgia right down to the wire. So Tim Rebow and those guys at Nichols are doing a heck of a job. So, we understand we're going to get their best shot, and they've got a lot of confidence coming in this game, which they should. I mean, they beat us here last year. And their best players, the guys that made the plays offensively are back, and the guys that made a bunch of plays for them defensively are back. So, plus it's a rivalry game, so anytime you enter into a rivalry game, you're going to get your opponent's best shot, and we'll get it. And we've got to be ready to show improvement. That's the thing that I think is the key for us, and that's what my message to our coaching staff was yesterday. We've got to continue to get better. We're at the midpoint of our season, but if we stay the same, that's not going to be good enough. We got to continue to make progress as we move down our schedule.
How do you keep your players focused on it just being the next game, not a rivalry game, not a game to get more eligible? How do you kind of just make them say, hey, just take this one game at a time?
Well, I think it's the rivalry piece of it. I don't think you try to downplay that. I think it is what it is. I think you're 100% honest with your football team, because I think that age group sees through fraud. They see right through when you're not being truthful with them. So I won't try to hide the fact that it's a rivalry game. It is what it is. A lot of these kids know each other. A lot of them played against each other in high school. They have a lot of Alabama kids and Florida kids. We have a lot of Alabama and Florida kids. So a lot of relationships on both squads. So we won't try to hide that. All we're trying to do is we've got one goal this week, and that's to get to 6-1 overall and 4-0 in our conference. And that's really what we talk about. And our guys got to focus on getting their bodies fresh this week, and then understanding we'll be simple in our game plan. I think that's important. We don't want to try to put a whole lot on them in this, because we don't have practice time that we normally would. We're missing essentially 2 days of prep time, so we'll be simple, and we just got to make sure we're ready to play fast.
You think you get try to figure out some ways to get Javier Fry the ball and keep off returns? I know people are starting to maybe try to kick away from
Yeah, we've got to do it. We've got to do a better job getting him involved as a whole. I think that's something that we've got to hone in on as a coaching staff. That's something that was in our discussions yesterday. He's made plays when he's had the ball in his hands, and we've got to do a better job getting it. We used him the other day. We had some things we felt like we were going to give him the ball, and they played him well. So we've got to do a better job schematically. And then, as far as their kickoff, they do a good job spraying the ball around. I don't think they're going to be intimidated to kick the ball to him. I think they'll give him his opportunities, but they also do a good job of covering the kicks. But their kickers do a nice job spreading the ball around and giving you some difficult balls to catch.
Do you have a spot already placed out on the shelf for the belt to go?
No, we don't. We never had the belt. Got to get the belt first. If we're fortunate enough to win, we'll figure out a place to put it.